Hello, Shalom Aleichem. We have today a learning from Rav Moshe Feinstein Zatzal on Chumash. Rav Moshe on Chumash. Let's take a look at it right now. Immutable Faith. Vayishlach Malachim El Bilam ben Baor. Immutable Faith. He sent messengers to Bilam, the son of Beor, to Pisor. Rashi explains that HaShem appointed Bilam to be a prophet to the non-Jewish nations, so they could not claim that they sinned only because they did not have a prophet to admonish them. To be a prophet requires a very high level of spiritual awareness. How could a wicked man like Bilam possibly be at this exalted level? Bilam was actually on a very high level of belief and spirituality. What he lacked was simple and wholehearted faith in HaShem. He believed in HaShem only because of his own philosophical explorations. When this is the only basis for a person's belief in HaShem, he can easily be misled by false ideas and theories that he concocts or that are convincingly presented by others. So in other words, one has to have a simple and wholehearted faith in Hashem, not only because of philosophical explorations. When this is the only basis for a person's belief in Hashem, he can easily be misled by false ideas and theories that he concocts or that are convincingly presented by others. Faith in Hashem must have as its core our tradition of belief in Hashem, the conviction that has been passed down through the generations, from parent to child and teacher to student. Unfortunately, in our own time, we find Bilam's type of belief even among observant Jews. Rather than accept the authority of the Gedolei Yisrael, the Torah leaders of the generation who are steeped in our age-old wisdom and traditions, they come up with their own philosophies, ideologies, and practices, and this leads them astray. Let's take a look at another Vort here from Rav Moshe on the Chumash, matching their efforts. Vayokam Bilam baboker vayachavosh es asono vayelech im sarei Moab. Bilam arose in the morning and saddled his she-donkey and went with the officers of Moab. That's Bamidbar chapter 22, pasuk 21. Rashi observes that Bilam's rising early and personally saddling his donkey illustrates that, quote, hatred corrupts rational thinking. He then cited the Medrash Tanchuma Balak 8 that says that Hashem told Bilam, wicked one, the Jews' forefathers Avram preceded you. When he arose early and saddled his donkey to go to the Akedah, the binding of Yitzchak, Parshas 22:3. When Avram Avinu arose early, it says, Vayashkem Avram baboker, Vayachavosh es chamoro. Avram rose early in the morning and saddled his donkey to go to the Akedah, the binding of Yitzchak. That was much before Bilam did this. The Medrash implies that it was the merit of Avram's effort at the Akedah that saved the Jews from Bilam's curse. Why was it critical that Avram preceded Bilam? This is the reason. Hashem expects a person to serve him with at least as much enthusiasm and effort as he invests in his personal interests. As the pasuk says, Mishlei 2:4-5. The Mishlei, the second parak, and the pasukim 4 through 5. If you seek it as if it were silver, if you search for it as if it were hidden treasures, then you will understand the fear of HaShem and discover the knowledge of God. In other words, this is what we're seeking. We're seeking the fear of HaShem and discover the knowledge of God. So if we seek it as if it were silver, in other words, we have to seek it as if we're looking for silver and gold. If you search for it as if it were hidden treasures, then you will understand the fear of HaShem and discover the knowledge of God. HaShem expects a person to serve him with at least as much enthusiasm and effort as he invests in his personal interests. Since Balaam wanted to invoke divine judgment against the Jews, he exerted himself to rise early and undertook the demeaning task of saddling his donkey, thinking that no Jew had ever inconvenienced or disgraced himself so much for a mitzvah. HaShem responded by telling him that he was wrong. Avram had preceded him, and that Balaam would be punished for being so passionate in trying to undermine the divine will. However, HaShem's response to Balaam implies that there would have been merit to his indictment of the Jews if our nation were lacking in this degree of service to HaShem. So we have to try to serve HaShem as if we were with the same enthusiasm as if we're trying to make a living, to do the things that we were interested for ourselves. Hashem expects a person to serve him with at least as much enthusiasm and effort as he invests in his own personal interests. We live in a society where people invest enormous time and tremendous effort to become wealthy, and non-Jews go to great lengths to indulge their every desire. This obligates us to devote ourselves with equal alacrity to Torah and mitzvos. So this is Vayokom Bilam Baboker, and Bilam arose early in the morning, Vayachavosh Sasono, and saddled his she-donkey, Vayelech Imsorei Moab, and went with his officers of Moab. He thought that by showing such devotion and effort for his evil cause, he would, God forbid, be successful, God forbid. So Hashem told him, no, the Jews, wicked one, the Jews' forefathers, Avram, preceded you when he arose early and saddled his donkey to go to the Akedah, the binding of Yitzchak. Parshas 22:3. Let's see one more from Rav Moshe on the Chumash. Bribes don't work. Chatosi ki lo yodati ki ato nitzov lekrosi baderech v'yato im ra b'einecho ashuvali. Bilam said to the